Hey runners, happy Saturday, January 4th, 2020. Has a nice little ring to it, doesn't it? Nice even numbers. Um, Anyways, today is a very special day for me. I celebrated my 21st year since having heart surgery to repair my mitral valve. I had a mitral valve prolapse back in, well, first diagnosed back in 1998, and then I had heart surgery in 1999. For those of you who don't know what the mitral valve prolapse is, it's basically where my mitral valve, you have a couple of valves in the heart, and my mitral valve, as everyone's valve should, shut kind of like a gate, so that it doesn't allow blood flow to go back out outside of the heart. You're supposed to have oxygenated blood flowing into the heart and throughout the body. In my particular case, the valve on the mitral valve was leaky, so instead of a solid shut, it was not closing all the way, and I had up to 40% backflow of blood. So not good, because obviously it's a little bit harder to breathe, and as runners, we need oxygen. We need oxygen, period. But exercising became a little bit more labor intensive. I basically first got diagnosed with mitral regurgitation, which, as the name implies, that backflow of blood was regurgitating back into the body. So I first came across it back in 1998, when I was out for a run, of all things, and I was running, starting out to do a mile, and I felt just very, sorry, something in my eye. I felt like it was harder to run, and I was really starting to get winded. So didn't think much of it early on, but it just never got better. So I went to go see the doctor, and that's when they diagnosed me with mitral regurgitation, and then turned into mitral valve prolapse. The option was to either not run very much, really cut back quite a bit. Back then, I believe I was 29. I was always an active person and was training for marathons, and so that definitely wasn't in the cards for me to cut back. So the other option was to get surgery to repair the valve with a artificial ring in there. And it's been 21 years to this date. I'm feeling good, and still doing what I love to do, and that's run. But I'm able to do everything else as if my heart was never repaired, or the valve was never repaired. So what I like to do every year, and I haven't done this for 21 straight years, it's been the last couple years, and then I went off it and did it a few years back. But what I like to do every year is just go out and run a mile. I say as hard as I can, but today's effort wasn't as hard as I could. It was good effort, and I definitely was labored in my breathing, but it was not as quick as I had hoped. I did a 7:21 mile, and it's funny because back in December I did the mile race with EV1 mile, and I did a 7:10, which I was hoping to get under 7, and I thought I would, but that was my fault for going out for the first mile at basically a 6-minute pace, which was stupid. Today, I warmed up for 2 miles. It was part of my kind of like, say, long run, 5.5, 6 miles. I was going to run 2 miles, go to the track. Hopefully it was open, because sometimes our track gates aren't open, although the gates to the school is open. Fortunately, it was open. which I have a funny story. I got on the track and did my mile. After my first lap, I saw a group of, it turns out they were soccer players for the high school, and there must have been, I don't know, a couple dozen girls out there just doing a very easy jog, and then they would, after about 200 meters, start doing their stretching while they're walking, picking up the knees and such. But they took up the entire 1, 2, 3, I believe the fourth or even fifth lanes, all 5 lanes. I wasn't about to let that distract me and run even longer than I had to, which meant running in like lane 6. So I cut onto the grass and then got out in front of the girls and stayed in lane 1, and did that again after passing them the second time. I had a short talk with the soccer coach, who was not very well educated on how the girls should be on the track. There's certain track etiquette out there, and just in case you're out on the track next time and you see somebody who's doing a fast workout, speed workout, or whatnot on lane 1 or 2, be respectful. If you're in lane 1, move over to lane 2 or 3. I always like to give a couple lanes space if somebody's working out and doing, like, it's evident when somebody is doing their speed workouts, because they're moving at a pretty good clip. And the reason why we use lane 1 is because of it's easier to track. We know what one full lap is. It's exactly 400 meters. As runners, we like to kind of keep it easier there. It's easier to manage. We know where the turns are going to be, where the 200, 400 exact markers are. But anyways, whether or not they are respectful of that, who knows? But there is track etiquette. So did the run and finished in 7:21. Happy with my effort, although it wasn't like an all-out thing. If it was, and I was really, really maximizing, then probably close to that 7:10 mark, maybe 7:05, I think I could have done. But I'm happy with it. It is a celebration today of, again, 21 years. I feel great. I haven't had a need for a second operation to replace the valve, which my cardiologist, Dr. Perlstein, who loved the guy, he retired last month after, I think, 50 years of practice, and he was my cardiologist for almost 20 years. Really good guy, very active, huge cyclist, so he got it. And that was one of the reasons I chose to have him as my cardiologist, because back then I wanted to qualify for the Boston Marathon, and I needed somebody who understood athletes and understood what it took, the amount of stress on the heart, and he was the guy. He cycles a lot on road bikes, and he's got to be mid-70s, maybe late 70s, I don't know. But he's definitely in his 70s, so really good guy. Definitely miss him. I'll have a new cardiologist the next time I go back. So anyways, it's a great day to be alive. The weather just fantastic. I mean, today's high is supposed to be in the upper 60s. We might crack the 70 mark tomorrow, for the first part of January, which is fine by me, because we know when March and April rolls around, it'll start to warm up, and then we're going to be back to that vicious summer heat here in Phoenix. So, comes with the territory, I suppose, but this is awesome running weather for us. And that's it. I hope that your new year has started off on the right foot. And if you have any races coming up here soon, definitely wish you the best. My next race will be the Pancake Race Runner's Den, which is a 10K. that is a fun race. Pancake flat, as the name implies, and free pancakes afterwards. So I've got basically a month here to try to get some speed in my legs. So I'm ready for the race. And today also is, as you can tell, I'm wearing my U of A Bear Down Wildcats pullover. It's a big game as our Wildcats are taking on the arch rival ASU Sun Devils down in Tucson for the Duel in a Desert basketball game. It's a big rivalry between the two schools. Maybe sometime I'll share. I attended the University of Arizona and then later transferred to ASU, of all things, right? But as you can tell, I still bleed red and blue. So to all you Wildcat fans out there, let's bear down. Let's beat ASU. Go Wildcats. And thanks for watching. If you love this content, please hit the thumbs up. And also, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so at the bottom for future content. Have a great weekend, all. Take care.